The Science Museum has been in Miami for over 50 years, so some of the things we do in our current museum, we know they're really loved and popular in the community and have an impact on the community. So we wanted to build on that and create a new museum that would really be ready for the next 100 years to deliver great science and technology and this responsiveness to the environment.
We just had a visceral reaction to the openness, that incredible view up Governor's Cut to where the cruise liners do their choreographed pirouettes in the bay, and just thought this is a majestic setting for an institution. Great, great site.
We wanted it to be a very open, welcoming building so that people would just not have to kind of decide that today they were into science and technology, but they could find themselves enveloped in science and technology and enjoying themselves before they'd even noticed. The architect we selected, Grimshaw, is a very interesting practice because every building they do seems to be different. We also really wanted a building that was not a black box, but was a building that before you got into it, you had a sense of what it was about and that you could almost imperceptibly pass over the threshold.
And so the building has a tremendous number of sheltered but open walkways, breezeways, terraces. And that level of connectivity is never far from your experience. You of course move inside to different galleries, but your journey is always moving backwards and forwards from sheltered spaces to the galleries.
It has been designed so that it would really settle in the environment as an icon that would raise your awareness of where you are, the importance of the land and the sea.
So we've tried to foster or nurture the sense of a journey through habitat as an entry point to learning. The landscape components generally on the site you could then characterize as being one really wedded to a story of water treatment. There's a wonderful aviary, there are great tanks, and the story that I alluded to earlier goes from the Gulf Stream all the way through mangroves and hammocks. It's a representation of the unique environment that exists in this region.
Those are all things which have a kind of deep down long-term impact on people. They can learn to be more aware of their environment and make choices about what they do themselves and also about the kind of jobs and things that people aim for, and inspire young people to really want to have new jobs in digital media, new jobs in things to do with sustainability, new jobs in physics, new jobs in anything you can think of. Healthcare is another area and medicines are really important. The planetarium's been one of those really long-term, very popular components of our existing museum. And our new 3D digital planetarium will just lay down that foundation for the future and carry people further. So it will take you out into the farthest reaches of the universe, but in a completely different experience. It'll have stacked seats and 3D opportunities and some additional effects as well to add in there to really create something you haven't experienced before. But it'll also take you down to the depths of the ocean and inside the human body and down to a nano world.
We also were afforded this great opportunity with the planetarium dome and through projection technology that the building can come alive at night in a very different way that it exists during the daytime. And so in a sense the building becomes its own signboard or advertisement for the content within the building. And so much about science exploration, for children especially, is about affording the opportunity to observe, and then from that observation you begin to ask questions. So there are layers upon which you can engage the exhibit, and nature has been a fundamental driver for that. The museum isn't just a meeting place for community from a perspective of learning about science, it's just a good meeting place, and in that sense it's a platform for all kinds of social activity, for galas, for guest speakers, for seminars, for conferences. To get true value, you have to design an institution that can accommodate those things because they're the lifeblood of a city. The People in Science Gallery beneath the Gulf Stream tank is a wonderful venue that can accommodate up to 600 people in a banqueting mode.
We're ready to go, and I do think the enthusiasm is as high now as it has ever been for this museum.
The Miami Science Museum makes education exciting and fun, and I think the greatest gift that you can give someone is the gift of education because it changes their lives.
It is very much an investment in the community, but more importantly, it's an investment in the education element of the community.
I think it's going to be a great asset to Miami, something that's going to be a world-class attraction.
Also with the People Mover, there's a great deal more emphasis on maybe a more sustainable platform for transit and movement around there, As I say, there's a gravity now of new institutions that make it an attractive location.
Here is an opportunity where one's own personal efforts and personal contributions, you can literally leave a fingerprint on this community that your children and their children will be able to see for years to come.